Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining me. Today we're doing a Happy Day series. It's all about using items that we have in our stash. So I'm going to be using this MFT stamp set. It's called Wild About You. And I do have the coordinating dies, but I wanted to make a real fun encouragement card, and I'm just going to use one of the images in the stamp set. The alligator I thought was super cute, and so we're going to stamp that on some Nina 80-pound cardstock using Memento TUXEDO black ink. Both of these are alcohol marker or Copic marker friendly, and that's what we're going to use to color in our images today. So we're going to stamp 4 of them. I'm going to color 3 of these alligators in with some green Copic markers, and then one of them I want standing out, and I'm going to use some purple Copic markers. Now I listed the colors up in the left hand corner for you, and I left the caps out in case you wanted to see those. But I'm only going to show you coloring for 2 of the alligators, one green and one of the purple, and then I colored the other 2 green ones the same exact way but off screen. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, play a little bit of music for you, and I will catch you back as soon as the music's done. Well, not the music, but the coloring. I think I always say that. Okay, coloring is all done. Well, almost. I'm taking the darkest shade of my purple here. I think it's B17. And I'm just adding little details to the nose and then the bottom of the mouth and to the tail of my little alligators. I do the same thing with my darkest green shade. I think this is going to really give a little bit of definition to those cute little gators. And then I'm taking my black marker and just brightening up their eyes a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take the coordinating die and cut out each one of my little alligators here. I think I've never did an alligator card, so I thought this would be super fun. Once they're all die cut out, we're going to set these aside and we're going to work on our background. So I have a piece of black cardstock here, and I'm going to take the largest double stitch circle die that I have, and I'm going to cut out a little half circle on the very bottom of this black cardstock here. And then I'm going to take another double stitched rectangle frame and cut out my panel. Now I wanted some stitch lines on the bottom of, this is going to be kind of like a hill, but I wanted it dark enough to put my sentiment on. So I'm going to, and that's my daughter texting me like mad. Sorry about that. But I want stitch lines on the very bottom, and so I'm going to take that same rectangle die that I cut out my panel with and go back over that half dome circle through the die cutting machine. This way I have stitch lines all the way around. Now we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. I'm using my anti-static powder tool and some Versamark ink. We're going to heat emboss with white embossing powder. And I'm stamping the sentiment that says, "What makes you different makes you special." I thought that would be real encouraging. Encouraging cards are always nice to have, especially really cute ones. I'm just going to go over my sentiment with my white embossing powder. You can see that smudge here. That happened from my purple tape when I ran it through my die cut machine, but it was easy to wipe away. I just used my heat gun and melted my sentiment here. Next I'm going to take a towel and just wipe off the powder that's still on that black cardstock. Just going to do a little bit of rubbing off. And I thought I could rub off that little stickiness from my purple tape. You could see it with that powder on there, but eventually it faded. Okay, I wanted to add, I'm going to leave my background white, but I wanted some detail on it, so I'm using a Cuttlebug embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder, and it's called Gingham. And I thought it looked pretty similar to, I tried to find one that was similar to alligator scales. So I think this one will work out great. I just adhered my sentiment to the very bottom. And now we're going to add our little gators here. We're going to add some foam squares to the back of them. And I thought it'd be fun to stack them kind of wonky on top of each other. I'm going to add 2 green ones. And after we have the green, we'll go ahead and add the purple. And then we'll add our last green one. I love purple and greens together. I think they complement each other really well. And I think the purple alligator kind of stands out and goes with the sentiment. I thought it'd be super fun. So there we have them. Okay, for the very bottom, I'm going to add some green and white baker's twine. We're just going to wrap it around and then tie a bow a little bit off to the left. We're going to bring down some of that green. We'll just trim the tails of our bow here. And then we'll flip this panel over, and I'm going to add some foam tape behind it. And then we're going to stick this down to a standard size card base, which is A2. A2 means it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And it's a top folding white card base. Okay, now we need some finishing touches, so I'm going to go in and add a few of these little gems. These are called Spring Green. They're from Pretty Pink Posh. They're little iridescent green gems, and they're super bright. I just added a few here and there, and then I wanted to give my alligator a little bit of sparkle, so I'm going in with my Nuvo Glitter Drops. This is White Blizzard, and I'm just going to go over the scales of the alligator, just so they stand out a little bit. And that's my card for today, guys. I encourage you to use what you have on hand or what you have in your stash. Sometimes I have some fun stamp sets that just sit there gathering dust bunnies, and so that's what I love about this series, is we can use what we already have. I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.